I am not proud of this. I nearly ended the life of an innocent Pokemon. I hope one day, some pure-hearted trainer will catch this Pokemon and help it reach its full potential we wanted it to have. For now, we must tell you the story. Our studies have finally yielded fruit. I found that in Surge City Bay, there are evolutionary stones that never lose their power. A dividing team has been sent to the underground estuary where the stones are said to be held in a shrine. The stones have been retrieved. We now have 8 stones of virtually limitless power. We are going to retrieve other items from other regions. We are now developing a search team to search the waters around Citadark Isle, where there is believed to be another shrine. We have also set out groups to find special rocks from Sinnoh and Unova. I don't like getting up. I want to stay asleep. But Dad said he wanted to talk to me today. I'll just see if he forgets. No chance of that. Dad wakes me up. We need to talk about Eeveelution, he says. Great. I don't want to talk about growing up yet. I get up anyway. Dad says I'm a normal Eevee. He's right. I'm a different color than other Eevees. Dad says that's because I am a shiny Pokemon. Mom, a Glaceon, Dad, an Umbreon, and I get into our living room, a nice furnished room inside our human-made house. I know this talk would come soon. I didn't want it either, but they said I needed it. I'm going to be some lucky trainer's Pokemon someday. Dad explains that Umbreon is the Dark-type Eeveelution with high defensive stats. They have the powers of Moonlight, a poisonous spray, and other status moves. He says that Eevee becomes Umbreon at night if they have a strong relation to their trainer, or with the Moon Shard. Mom states that Glaceon is the Ice-type Eeveelution. The species has high defense and special attack. Their powers include making their fur stand up like needles and flash freezing moisture in the air. She says that they evolve when near special ice-covered rocks. After that, they handed me a book written in that messy human language. It contained entries of all 7 Eeveelutions. I'll start with the first, Jolteon. The lightning Pokemon, the electric Eeveelution. They evolve through the use of a Thunderstone. They have high speed and special attack. Their arsenal of techniques includes Thunder, Pin Missile, and many others. They gain power by breathing in negative ions, and they tend to make their fur stand on ends to be as sharp as needles. Hey, just like Mom. Vaporeon, the Bubble Jet Pokemon. They evolve via the use of a Water Stone and have high hit points and high special attack. Their move pool includes Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Acid Armor, and more. They can disappear into water, making them near invisible underwater. They are commonly mistaken for mermaids. I have the strangest sensation to check my water before I drink it next time. Flareon, the Flame Pokemon, and they evolve through exposure to a Firestone. They have very strong attack and special defense. They have an internal flame sac that can make their body as hot as 1,650 degrees Fahrenheit and use moves such as Flamethrower and Fire Fang. Now that's on fire. Well, I went through all the Eeveelutions and they have their strong points. Eeveelution will be a hard choice. I've decided to just rest. But then, the next day, I got out of the car. Professor Fur looked at me worryingly. "Are you sure that shiny Eevee will be okay?" he asked. "Of course," I replied. "We are not Team Rocket. We want to perform these experiments to better our understanding of evolution. We want to make sure all our experiments are humane for Pokemon." Professor Fur looked worried, so we agreed that we could just watch all the experiments. We found the shiny Eevee playing with its friends. Professor Fur got it into a Pokeball. After driving to the lab and making sure it felt safe, we knocked it out using a painless serum. The team had not gotten all the stones yet, but we extracted shards of the stones we had. We found out that Eevee and every evolution of Eevee had their spine run down through their body into their tail. We implanted the shards of the Water, Fire, and Thunderstone into the small Pokemon spinal column base. I can't remember much, but I think that the scientists are okay. I'm back with my family and I'm just laying around. The scientists are returning tomorrow, according to my parents. When they come back, they brought me back to the lab. "Well, Eevee, you deserve to know why you're here," he said. "We are experimenting with de-evolution, or the process of devolving Pokemon." De-evolution? That's unheard of. What will happen? Now, Eevee, you are perfect for the experiment. We have already implanted parts of evolutionary stones in your spine. Now we wish to alter your DNA to allow you to devolve at will, he said. We are performing this to further our understanding of evolution. Do you wish to continue? I thought about it, until I finally nodded my head. I thought that this could help both Pokemon and people. The scientist smiled. He picked me up and put me to sleep. The fourth day was mostly monitoring Eevee's DNA changes. Everything went smoothly. We gave Eevee the ability to devolve at will, and the ability to remember moves its evolved forms know. When evolved into Vaporeon, it would know Hydro Pump, Acid Armor, and other moves. We were incomplete, because we needed to study the Eevee genome more. Afterwards, we planned to add the other 4 evolutions, and give it the power to go from one Eeveelution to the other. We got Eevee again. The shiny Eevee was looking much like a teenager who was dragged out of bed on a Monday morning. We started the testing for battle today. Okay, Eevee, we want you to focus on becoming a Flareon. If the genetics work, you should be able to transform with no trouble at all. I saw Eevee close its eyes. He started to glow and then turn into a Flareon. I was overjoyed that nothing went wrong. This was a success beyond amazing. I focused on becoming Flareon. I started to glow as my body temperature shot up, and I felt a warm blanket of fire around me. Then came the immediate change in major thoughts. I felt the most irresistible surge of cockiness. I felt like I could crush any foe in my path, and I immediately wanted to fight someone. The scientist pointed at a target. He said that I could test out new attacks on it. I tried Giga Impact, Flamethrower, and Fire Fang. Now, focus on becoming an Eevee again. I did so. The new body was nice and all, but I did like being Eevee. I focused and became Eevee again. I was back as an Eevee, and then told to become a Vaporeon. As Vaporeon, I was ultra calm and went back to normal thoughts, yet much calmer. I wanted to rest for a while. I used Hydro Pump and Acid Armor, and even jumped in a pool. I was really liking being in water. Jolteon was a lot like Flareon, but I was instead super hyper. I blasted the target with Pin Missile and Thunderbolt and even tested my speed. I was very fast. I devolved to Eevee. You surpassed expectations. Here, have a Pokeblock. He threw me a Pokeblock and I happily ate it. Now, go get rest. We will be doing some more testing later. These days were filled with more testing. We have greatly decoded the Eevee genome. The DNA changes due to radiation, and each Eeveelution still stays similar regardless of how it changes, so every Eeveelution is genetically similar to Eevee. Sun Shard, Moon Shard, Icy Rock, and Mossy Rock have arrived, and we have implanted them in the Eevee spine. Tests have still exceeded results. Eevee still cooperates. We are thankful, as we don't think a normal Eevee would be able to get results this good, and the chances of a Pokemon being born shiny is 1 in 8,192. We even have new data on shiny Pokemon, and that shininess is linked to stat totals, but not in every shiny Pokemon. We even got Eevee to change into different Eeveelutions without going back to Eevee. He even learned to transform in the middle of a battle. These were very eventful days indeed. I evolved into the calm and adept Espeon, and used my massive psychic powers and solar abilities to get around quite nicely. I could easily get through a totally dark maze as Umbreon, and my defenses were rock hard. As Leafeon, I enjoyed the fact that breathing was far simpler, and that my ears were super sharp. Glaceon was really useful when it was a hot day. This day started the same. Got up, went to the lab, scientists greet me. But then strange things happened starting that day. I was 1 second a Flareon. Then I was Vaporeon. I didn't remember changing. Then another time I was Glaceon, Espeon, kept cycling through Eeveelution subconsciously, so I decided to become Eevee. What are you doing? Evolve into Flareon, something said in a harsh and angry voice. I looked around. No one was there. Even if someone was there, it wasn't anyone I met at the lab, and I knew the staff by name, face, voice, and scent. I then ran into the hall. I wanted to feel safer, but whatever was tormenting me was intending something else. Don't listen to him. Evolve into Vaporeon and stay that way, said a much calmer voice. No, evolve into Jolteon, an aggressive and energetic voice said. Evolve into Espeon and we will rule with our psychic powers, a calm yet intellectual voice said. I tell you once, become Umbreon, a dominating voice said. Leafeon should be your choice, young Eevee, a calm voice not unlike wind going through leaves said. Glaceon, now! I realized with horror that these voices were the voices of Eeveelutions. I was no longer in my own body, I realized. I was now at the mercy of 7 consciousnesses, raging for control. I started going through Eeveelutions uncontrollably as the 7 voices in my head raged for dominance. Out of my head! Out of my head! Out of my head! I screamed in Pokemon. I raged in pain as I felt 7 blades had snuffed out my very being. The last I saw was the head scientist grabbing a needle. I heard the screaming and all the machines picked up on the energy flux. The entire team came to see it. Poor Eevee was now uncontrollably going between Eeveelutions. I grabbed a syringe filled with high-strength knockout serum. I fought against the energy waves and got the syringe close to Eevee. The rapid evolution was turning the air around the poor Pokemon into plasma and the light was blinding me. I injected the serum into Eevee, burning my hand in the process. Eevee fell down unconscious. We immediately went to work to find out what was happening. We found out that Eevee had developed severe multiple personality disorder due to the varying behaviors of the Eeveelutions. We did one last thing to Eevee. We erased all memories it had of the ordeal over the past 3 weeks, and made it so it would forget all memories it had if it became an again Eeveelution and devolved. We shut down the lab. We told Professor Fur that it was impossible to remove the shards from Eevee's spine. We said that if Eevee ever regained its memory, it would either go insane or maybe, just maybe, if a pure-hearted trainer owned it, and Eevee's mind overcame the 7 other minds, it might be able to use its power to the extent we wanted it to. I've monitored Eevee from time to time through Professor Fur. The little Pokemon has recovered. I regret becoming a scientist to an extent. Why is it a scientist's job to find out what can't be explained? But some things, like what life truly is, shouldn't be fully understood. I received word from Professor Fur that he gave Eevee to a trainer. He has faith. I have faith. I hope that I get to see Eevee again. I hope to see that he could truly become what we wanted him to be. The next entry took place later, according to the text. I saw Eevee with the trainer yesterday. Eevee looked so happy. We talked for a while. He said he was from Topsoil Town. He said his name was... The trainer holding the journal dropped it, as his loyal Eevee went over to read the name.